So when a giant company like Workday, we're talking a huge HR software provider, announces a data breach, yeah, that's going to make waves. But this story? Oh, it got so much bigger. It turned out this wasn't just about one company at all. It was a clue, a thread leading to something massive. I mean, it sounds like the start of a bad joke, right? What do Workday, Google, and Louis Vuitton all have in common? You've got HR software, a search engine giant, and a high-fashion brand. Seems like nothing, but they were all connected by something they definitely didn't sign up for. Yep, they were all hit by the exact same cyber attack. See, the Workday breach wasn't some one-off thing. Nope, it was just one little piece of a huge, coordinated campaign that went after some of the biggest names out there. So let's unpack this. All right, first up, let's talk about the company that kind of blew the lid off this whole thing, Workday. Okay, so to really get why this was such a massive deal, you gotta understand just how big Workday is. We're talking about a company that handles the super sensitive HR and financial info for more than 60% of the Fortune 500. The stakes? They're about as high as they get. So, here's what the initial report said. Workday finds the breach around August 6th, and they go public with it a couple of weeks later. They made it really clear that what got stolen was business contact info. Names, work emails, phone numbers. But the most important part, the real clue, they said the hackers got in through a third-party platform. And that little detail, well, that's the key to everything. See, this wasn't your classic hackers smashing through the firewalls kind of story. Not at all. The weak spot, it was somewhere else entirely. And this is the part you really have to get. Workday's main systems, the vaults where they keep all that super sensitive employee and financial data for their clients, they were totally safe, untouched. What the attackers did get into was a completely separate system. It was their CRM, their customer relationship platform, which turned out to be Salesforce. Now, if you're not familiar, a CRM is basically a company's digital address book on steroids. It's where they keep track of all their customers, their sales leads, their partners. It's valuable data for sure, but it's a whole different ballgame from what's inside their main HR software. And guess what? This kind of data was exactly what these hackers wanted. So right after the Workday story hit the news, this really disturbing pattern started to emerge. It turned out a whole bunch of other huge companies had been hit with the exact same attack, targeting the exact same kind of system. We're talking Google, Adidas, Chanel. I mean, the list is just wild. Tech, travel, fashion, they were all linked. Which leads to the big question, who was doing this? Well, the group that stepped up to take credit is a pretty notorious crew called Shiny Hunters. And the craziest part, their whole method is surprisingly simple. It's really low tech. Yeah, the key to their whole operation isn't some crazy complex piece of malware. It's something called social engineering. It's basically the art of the con, just brought into the 21st century. See, they're not really hacking computers, they're hacking people. And their playbook is it's shockingly simple, but man, is it effective. Here's how it goes down. Step 1, they text or call an employee pretending to be from IT or HR. They'll sound super helpful or maybe create a sense of panic. Step 2, they trick that person into giving up their password or even sneakier, linking a malicious app to the company's Salesforce. Once they're in, boom, they download the whole contact database and then send the ransom note. So you might be sitting there thinking, okay, hold on, it's just business contacts, right? Not credit card numbers. What's the real damage here? And that is an excellent question, because that's where the real danger of this whole thing is hiding. There's this great quote from a CISO named Chad Craigle that just hits the nail on the head. He says, to think of it like a row of dominoes. The point of these attacks isn't just to steal one company's data. Oh no, it's all about setting up the next attack and the one after that. So here's the bottom line. All that stolen info, the names, the job titles, the emails, it's not the prize. It's the ammunition for the next attack. It lets the hackers make their next phishing email or their next phone call sound way more legit, way more targeted. Every single company they hit makes them better at hitting the next one. And all of this brings us to the biggest takeaway from this whole sprawling mess.
And let's be super clear about this. Salesforce itself wasn't hacked. There wasn't some bug in their code that the attackers exploited. The platform was fine. The hackers just walked around the technology. They went straight for the people using it.
When you really boil it all down, the one vulnerability shiny hunters hit over and over and over again, it wasn't a software flaw. It was trust. It was that human instinct to believe someone who says they're from the help desk, or our natural desire to help out someone who sounds like they're from HR. And that really leaves us with a kind of chilling question, doesn't it? In this world of complex firewalls and fancy encryption, could it be that the single biggest security risk is just our instinct to be helpful? It's a pretty powerful reminder that no matter how good the tech gets, the human element, well, that's always going to be the most important and maybe the most vulnerable part of the puzzle.